marriage as a unit has poured into this organization, saving countless marriages through travel. And then in the second hour of the show, we have an opportunity to get even more deeper in conversation when it comes to romance. And we look at your spiritual journey between you and your person. What does it even mean to be spiritually connected? I think we have very negative associations that we need to debunk. And we're going to be doing this with none other than Sean Rattenberry, who is a mind, body, and sound facilitator. I'd love to hear from you this evening. Do find us on social media at Channel Africa 1, on Facebook specifically at Channel Africa. Lastly, you can send through a text message, or rather a WhatsApp text message to be precise, +278 288 6684. Don't forget that you are sticking to the continent. You are sticking connected to Africa and to the world with Channel Africa, the international voice of the South African Broadcasting Corporation, aka SABC. Now, you listen or you watch live anytime, anywhere. Find us on our website, channelafrica.co.za, or on the Channel Africa mobile app. Of course, you can find us on DSTV as well as OVHD's audio bouquets as well. Do not miss the stories, the conversations, the beauty that is being shaped concerning the continent and beyond through Channel Africa, because we are first with that African story globally.
Africa Speaks on African Diaries with Sheila Ndikumana.
Darkness is all I see. Even my soul have faith. Intlungas pelino, okoni bono bunya, okoni boni ngembezi, okoni bono bunya, okoni bono bunya, okoni boni ngembezi, okoni bono bunya. I gotta let it go, 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 let it go. Yeah, girl, yeah, girl. Let it go, 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 let it go. Yeah, girl, 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 yeah, girl. Asoni lale nihlele, nihluthwa ngumvandedwa, nistress abazali ndithule, angikwazi nokuthetha. I'm so afraid I don't wanna fail. Don't know how to feel, don't know what to say. Disconnected, I feel like I can't relate. Rip off the bandage and cut a leg. Don't wanna need nobody. I just need my body. It's in me I don't see. Just wanna free my mind. I gotta let it go, let it go,
continent. Now online with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more. Channel Africa, where every moment is an African celebration. Feel the energy. Feel the connection. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
If no be money, now whining. Yeah, no, they do what you know, cause I need. I'm a logo, don't die, your timing. Sending the paper, power, timing. All the no more, no fugazi. Oh, let me feel like bad as I see. Yeah, 360 on timing. Oh, I don't they bless me. Yeah, I don't be control. Super Tana, Papa, Yami, control. Yeah, they my own, I know they pop close. Kabeta me, they my baby, your show. And you go, she share, no, my go. I know they look at your face on the low. Cover my face, I know what I'm polo. Check my polo. Oh, keep up Messiah. I know this stuff is my pain. Oh, ignite the fire. Oh, you make me deep into my heart. I would do me shame or color. Diamonds on me, Timmy turn out. I am rising like I'm dollar. I am rising like I'm dollar, more dollar. Multi jaka, jaka, from Saka for life. I take para. Go see me, I be a dagger. I don't be control. Super Dana, Papa, Yami, control. Yeah, they my own, I know they walk close. I bet me, they my baby, your show. And you know, she share no my go. I know they look at your face on the low. Cover my face, I know what I polo. Check my polo. Oh, keep up Messiah. I know this stuff is my pain. Oh, ignite the fire. Oh, you make me deep into my heart. My energy and me control. Superstar life over here, me for me and them all never make problems. I bet me, them a feel your show. And it goes, she show me my
Ten minutes after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. Zlatan coming in with Hip Hop Messiah alongside Davido. Before that, we had Amanda Black, and she was telling us to let it go. Perhaps ours is to let this moment go for just a second so we can take a breather, some music, and then we scribe in our diaries.
Zochitika ndi madaphiri kamlondola wazochitika pena paliponse
ndi anthu angati amene akudziwa za ndondomeko imeneyi ndi anthu angati ku Malawi ndipo ndi chifukwa chani anthu amene sakudziwa ndi alimi angati akudziwa za ndondomeko imeneyi
ndinganene zokuti amene amadziwa ndi amene ayitanidwa ku meeting
Malawansi
tibwerere ku zimenezo timathapezeka zokuti tayitana alimi koma alimi aja akabwerera alibe kuthekera kufotokozera alimi ena azinzawo ndiye ngati ife mabungwe timatha kuwapanga support kuwapasa maalawansiwo chakuwapase transport tiyeni kulilongwe mukapereke nawo ndithu information imene ikufunika kuchani kuzamalabo akabwerera sitapatsayi ndalama yokuti kayitaneni mudzi mwanu mu anthu mukafotokozera zomwe mwapeza kodi iwo anthu akumuzi angatenge nawo gawo bwanji ndiye mpomwe tikuperewera
zochitika ndi madaphiri lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa.
Africa, it's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Mzansi, less than 100 days to go from the 11th of June to the 19th of July. Your national broadcaster, the SABC, brings you every moment live. Watch on SABC 3, stream on SABC Plus, and stay connected on SABC Radio. Download SABC Plus now and be ready for kickoff. SABC is the official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
From Cape to Cairo, every beat tells a story. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
The Bundu Boys getting us in a bit of a movement there with that one titled Jet Jive. 16 minutes after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. This is African Diaries. Sheila Ndikumana keeping you company. And it is time for us to scribe in our diaries. Dear African Diary, So I was paging through some conversations and I found this read, and it got me thinking. Okay, so I want you and I to share this moment together. Have a listen to this. To love, truly love, is to step into the unknown of another heart and say, I am here, I see you, I will not turn away. It's easy to love when it is light, when there is laughter, when this love asks nothing of you. But real love, it asks for patience when you don't understand, kindness when you don't feel like you are understood, softness when tensions are high. Love is choosing to stay present even when someone's pain makes them push you away. It's speaking gently when you are tempted to raise your voice. It's holding space even if someone is healing, and this healing is at the cost of your peace. Love is not perfect. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because at the end of the day, we're all just souls longing to be seen, to be known, to be held in the light of someone else's unwavering kindness. So, love bravely, love deeply, just love. It is 18 minutes after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. Perhaps let me know what your thoughts, your views were on this. Do find us on WhatsApp, +2783 288 6684.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, Channel 628. This March, escape to the Friendship Village for a premium festival experience like no other. The Montreux Jazz Festival experience brings together more than 30 exceptional local and international acts, including Robert Glasper with Bilal, Stacey Kent, Salif Keita, Thandiswa Mazwai, and Mandisa Janjis. From the 27th to the 29th of March 2026, indulge in world-class music, culture, and luxury. Book your ticket now at ticketmaster.co.za or visit mjfsa.com. The Montreux Jazz Festival French Hook, where timeless music meets timeless beauty. Late night with African stories that matter. Tsepiso Makwetla on Africa World Hour.
I mean, we're seeing South Africa face challenges in the enforcement of an NHI plan. The Minister of Health is contending with legal action. There might be a will, but there would be opposition. And what is most important is the issue of equitable health services. How do we make sure that those policies translate into that?
Let me just give you a real example. In 1926, Japan started to discuss about primary healthcare and universal health coverage. By 1961, Japan was fully with universal health coverage. Do you know how long they live? They've got the longest lifespan in the world. So it's not theory anymore. In any country during COVID, if you remember 4 years ago, which fared well, there are those countries which had a very strong primary healthcare system. Because when we say health sovereignty, it's not about closing the doors to the partners. No, this is a process. But we need to give where our priorities, what can we do more with less.
Regional Director for Africa, Professor Mohammed Jacob.
Late night with Tsepiso Makwetla. End your day inspired by Africa World Hour on Channel Africa, the African perspective. African Diaries, weekdays, 10 till midnight.
21 minutes after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. If you've just joined us, thank you so much for choosing us over the rest. This is African Diaries, an opportunity to scribe to your heart's content, that which rests on your heart, your mind, maybe even in your body. Who knows? Find us on WhatsApp, but let us know how you're doing. How has your day been? +2783 288 6684. It is time for us to page through the content that was hosted on Channel Africa, and we kickstart off with the Africa Update team. Now, a historic moment in UK-Africa relations is unfolding as Bola Tinubu arrives in Windsor Castle for a state visit. Now, this particular visit marks a significant step in strengthening the ties between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, with growing trade, investment, and a large Nigerian diaspora linking the two nations.
Now, how significant is this state visit by President Bola Tinubu, given it's being the first at this level in nearly 40 years?
Indeed, it is very significant. We're stunned that we're up to almost 40 years since the last visit. And we believe that this is very much part of an ongoing effort by the UK government to build partnerships in different ways with a number of African nations where the focus will be on investment and trade. And so we're really seeing this very much in this light. It's also striking because it seems to signal a new willingness on the part of the government of Nigeria to engage in much more active diplomacy. Nigeria, since the arrival of President Tinubu, has notably, and it's been commented on quite a lot, been quite weak in terms of its ambassadorial appointments and its diplomacy across the board. So this is a good signal.
And on the upside, some exciting news. Rwanda is reshaping Africa's digital economy with TikTok monetization now approved. Creators can finally earn directly from their content. No workarounds needed.
Siso Manga joins me on the line. Siso, a pleasure to talk to you this afternoon. How significant is this TikTok monetization approval for Rwanda?
Good afternoon, guys, and good afternoon to your listeners. I think in the context of when we say decolonization, outside of it being a high-level conversation, this is the significance where we stop talking about in rhetoric and start putting it in policy, where to say we don't mind things from outside the continent just as long as they play by our rules, because for a very long time we are giving traffic without benefiting equally, and that has been a conversation in almost every industry. So this is quite big, not only for the tech space or the social media space or the internet, for almost every industry now, because this is an industry that has a lot of eyeballs on it. This inspires so many people.
And I do think it's an exciting venture for the country of Rwanda, and I suppose even for the continent at large. Cannot wait for monetization to be approved in South Africa specifically. Let's end off with Africa in business. The rand is currently hovering at around 16.65 to 16.77, showing a slight increase in the dollar's strength. For more on this, let's find out what Africa in business had a discussion on.
So, Lindy, what's your take on how global markets have been moving lately and how the rand has been reacting?
Yeah, Tammy, I think we're certainly in interesting and turbulent times. I think the biggest fears market had was around whether these attacks that we are seeing in the Middle East would be on oil infrastructure. That's certainly proven to be the case. So oil prices are now close to 110 US dollars per barrel. So look at market performance. We had a good start to the week, but following today's developments, we are seeing a bit of reversal. Seeing global markets trading lower across the board. European, UK, and Asian equities have pulled back. Locally, also similar trends. So all shares seeing a bit of pain. It's down about 2.4%. This has mainly been driven by a dip in resources, with the exception of Sasol, of course, due to the higher oil prices. Industrials are down. Financials also down. The rand, of course, has been impacted, as you mentioned, rightfully so, on the back of that dollar strength, and it has now erased the gains from this year, trading around 16.80 rand.
For these and more stories, please do head over to channelafrica.co.za or find us on YouTube. Watch the conversations. simply head over to the video section. The page you're looking for is Channel Africa. Now, up next, we look at how love isn't always butterflies, unfortunately. And this is love between you and your special somebody. Sometimes it's choosing each other again and again and again and again, even when it gets hard. Tonight on Relationship Wednesdays, we are sitting down with a couple who's been married for 53 years plus. I do not know what they got up to or how they were able to sustain themselves in this current dating climate. But what we do love is that they come together not only to bless each other, but also those around them through a particular organization. We touch on that in just a short bit.
The sound of Africa is evolving. Experience our new mobile app. Free to download, free to connect. Love music, love culture, love life. Because you on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
No matter the matter, RTID. Come on.
Suffer for work, enjoy for heaven. This thing they happen to anyone. I come from nothing, enter many things, but this thing they happen to anyone. Yeah. I live the life that I love the life that I live. Tomorrow's not promised, but I'll keep the things that I need. Love is in the air, wear face mask. No matter the matter, I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. Till I die. I'll be rich till I die. A plan is a plan A, better plan is a plan B. No pain, no gain, no face, no case. Look, I live the life that I love. I love the life that I live. Tomorrow's not promised, but I'll keep the things that I need. Love is in the air, wear face mask. No matter the matter, I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. I'll be rich till I die. But I'll keep the things that I need. Love is in the air, wear face mask. No matter the matter, I'll be rich till I die.
It is 30 minutes after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. Kiz Daniel coming in with RTID, Rich Till I Die. Very interesting. I mean, all of us want that, don't we? Nevertheless, Relationship Wednesdays is the focal point this evening. If you've just joined us, thank you so much for choosing us over the rest. Time for our very first conversations. I told you 53 years. That was the hook. Okay, when you hear that two people have been together for 53 years plus, you start to ask yourself, listen, what are you doing? You know, how are you interacting? What is going on, especially in the current dating economy? Besides the point, it is time for us to get into this particular conversation, and we will tackle that in just a short bit. Now, they've been married for over 5 decades, and instead of keeping their love story to themselves, they've traveled the world helping other couples rebuild theirs. This is Peter and Mare van der Linde, who are part of Retrovai, that is a Retrovai Lifeline for Married Couples, a global program that helps relationships move from crisis to connection. I don't know about you, but if somebody said to me, Sheila, listen, you and your future special somebody could move from a place and a space of fighting, of arguing, of not seeing eye to eye, to this place of connection, of reconnection, of establishing how we can continue to reconnect, I would definitely hit up the Vander Linde married couple to just find out what it is they're getting up to. And so what we did is we hit them up, and so they join us on the line this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello. Welcome to African Diaries.
Thank you very much for having us.
Hi, Sheila. Yep, no, we're very happy to try and give some of our experience and, what we do and what we don't do to other couples. We've been there and we've done that, but we're still building our marriage. So, yeah.
That takes hard work.
It's hard work. Don't say that. I was actually going to
start. I mean, married life is hard. Is hard work, and it's not. You've just got to keep at it and find the correct balance to get it right. And not just give up at the first hiccup. So, yeah, that's what we do.
Let's start off by just debunking the biggest myth that people believe when it comes to long-lasting marriages. What are some of the things that you've encountered couples saying to you that is completely false? However, they think that that's the road to a long-lasting marriage.
I think it stems from fairy tales, where you get married and you live happily ever after. That's the first myth. You don't live happily ever after.
But so, there you are. You're living happily ever after, no?
We are most of the time, but
there's still the occasional sort of hiccups, but we know how to work through those to get back to the happily ever after.
Yes.
So that is the thing. We've learned that marriage is like a cycle. So you go through like 4 different stages within marriage. I mean, you start off in the romance stage where you are just going to have just eyes for your spouse. But then after a few years, maybe, that romance phase ends. You can't stay there always in that googly romance stage, otherwise you'll get nothing done. And then comes possibly the disillusionment when you are sick and tired of picking up the washing, or sick and tired of sitting watching him play sport, or things that you would have done when you first got married and you were just thought this was just too wonderful. And then if it carries on like that, you could go right into misery. And then that's when you might really seek help. And then you can, if you carry on working at it, or else if you give up after the romance stage, you think, well, I don't love her anymore, or I don't love him anymore, so I'm just going to give up. But in actual fact, if you move on, you can get back to that, well, the joy stage then of a far more mature love and relationship with your spouse. So that is the process.
Myra, I'm going to stick with you for a second. You went to the misery stage. I mean, I was with you and we were tugging along and we're fighting through it until you said misery. What gets coupled to that place?
Well, maybe when they hit a serious hiccup in the marriage, where it could be an abusive situation, it could be abuse of alcohol, it could be drug abuse, it could be even just like a not even such a major thing. Well, affairs, but it could be also giving one being an absolute workaholic. And they spend all their time at work and not thinking about their family at home. All those things, sometimes big, sometimes small, lead to that misery stage where you just think, well, I'm just going to give up the towel.
Can't see any hope.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do.
The only thing is that if it's a drug or alcohol problem, then we would recommend you go on a specialized program. We can't deal with that. We're not professionals. We just work in a peer ministry where we are couples that have been through difficult times and we speak from our story. And that's what helps the couples then to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, there is hope at the end. We can keep working at our marriage. We can get to that joy stage as we see the couples around about us. I hope that helps you.
That does, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mayor. Peter, I'm going to turn to you for just for a second, right? And I love what Mayor said, which is you use your specific experiences within the frame of your marriage to assist other marriages. When you think of the process of maturing or transitioning from phase to phase, what are some of the fundamental principles that one needs to bear in mind? Because yes, the season will change, but there is an anchor in your character that needs to remain. What are some of those anchors?
I think it's a personal inside of you. You need to bear in mind a couple of things. Firstly, that yes, you had this romantic stage and everything was lovey-dovey, and then it's a transition from being a single person. Now you've got to consider your spouse when you get married, and then things start to change because you might be leading different lives, working different fields. And then, it can be a slow process. One of them is what we call the married singles lifestyle, where, as Moya mentioned earlier, one is a workaholic, or one is a great sports person and is only concentrating on that, and then it slowly builds up. But the point is, you've got to realize one thing very important, is that if nothing changes where you are in your situation, then nothing changes. But you have to change yourself. You can't change your spouse. That's what a lot of our couples, when they come to the program and they say, oh, I wish I could change him, or I wish I could change her behavior, etc. No, you can't change your spouse. So that is the one realization that you need to come to if you want to reach a long-lasting relationship and the joy stage and be able to go through the ups and downs. You have to make changes. But that's sometimes difficult, especially if you've there's a bit of a thought that people who get married later on in life have sort of already set up their lifestyle in the early 20s, maybe even 30s. Their career's on the go, and now they meet somebody else, and something has to change. And it's difficult at that stage. Our experience, I think we were fortunate that we actually got married very young. Moya was 20 and I was 23. So, we didn't have a lot of single lifestyle before that. So, we grew up in a family, and just as we were leaving our families, we started our own family. And that's the kind of scenario that we continued to live in. But with that, then, of course, things start changing. You start having children. You might move. You might change jobs. There might be a death in the family. Those sort of things affect the balance. And that's what that's what we got to get past. And as I say, you need to change yourself.
Can I just come and say something?
Absolutely.
I'll expand when we got to that misery stage. I mean, things were going well, and we were happy. And then Peter got retrenched from his work and could not find work for 5 years. And I was then the one bringing in the money, and on a teacher's salary that's not the greatest, and then also looking after the children and having to deal with their problems, because Peter went into almost like a sulk mode, and he cut himself off completely from the family. And so I felt as if I was all alone. I was the one who was really suffering, but I had to keep a stiff upper lip, so to speak, because I had to look after the children. And I mean, we had 6 children, so I had to be strong. And then our older three daughters had heard about Retrovi, and they booked us in, and they paid for it even, and the one even drove Peter and I there. So there was no way that we could sneak off and go home. We were there put, and I must say, on that weekend, I thought that I was the one who was really suffering on this, and that Peter didn't care about anything. Until on that program, I realized that, hang on a minute, he is suffering, and I am also a culprit in that. I also have to change. I have to change certain aspects about myself, as well as Peter realized, hang on a minute, Moya's also suffering. I've got to change as well. So that was, I think, the moment for us was then. And we realized we had to work hard to move out of this phase to work towards being a happy couple, married couple, and have a happy family.
The voices there of Peter and Moira van der Linde, who is joining us this evening from Retrovi Lifeline for married couples. And theirs is to share their story so that they can bring some level of understanding when it comes to the life of marriage and how to sustain yourselves throughout marriage. 44 after 10 p.m. Central Africa time. A short breather. When we get back, we continue to speak to the couple.
60 years of broadcasting Africa to the world. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Malawi's President Peter Mutharika has directed that a fresh inquiry be conducted into the plane crash that claimed the life of former Vice President Saulos Klauser, political analyst Undule Mwakasangula. Undule, what are they politically and institutional factors that may have influenced President Peter Mutharika's decision to order a fresh inquiry into the crash?
Let me start by saying that the death of the former president and 8 others was a painful national tragedy. You know, public trust is very important. If people feel that the first report left gaps, the president may believe that a fresh inquiry could restore confidence and provide closure. So the decision by the president may be influenced by public pressure, but also the need to rebuild trust in the state institutions.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Africa's voices, Africa's journeys. They're all on African Diaries.
It is 15 minutes before 11 p.m. Central Africa time. Peter and Moira van der Linde joining us this evening from Retrovi Lifeline for married couples. And they're sharing their experience, their 53-year-long plus experience in marriage. And what I love is the honesty, the vulnerability, the truth of it all is that it won't be peaches and cream all day, every day. You will go through various cycles. And I love how the couple continues to emphasize that you need to work on you. You need to realize that you need to transform as well as part of this marriage. Let's come back to the conversation. I want to turn to you, Myra, and just talk about communication. You were just sharing with me how you got to a point where you realized that Peter withdrawing from the family and you felt like he didn't care much about anything. And there's this point where you realize that I'm not the only one hurting. He's hurting too. How do you begin conversations when you realize the issue, when you see the problem for what it truly is?
Well, on the program, we actually learned how to approach conflict, and communication, I must say, because we learned on the weekend that communication is not just talking, because just talking, people can then they just hear your words going over and over again. So we also had to learn how to listen, and to listen, what we call active listening. So when you need to actually talk with your spouse or your partner, you need to listen and watch, have their attention, to watch facial expression, to watch and listen for the inclination in their voice. So there was a lot of things about listening and then communication. We were taught communication skill in the fact where we get in contact with our feelings, because feelings are things that we are really taught to suppress. Like big boys or men, like if you're a cowboy, don't cry, or and on the weekend or throughout the program, we got to know that that's not the case. It is okay for men to show their feelings. And that's one thing where they have a big problem in, is identifying actually what they are feeling. Now, when you then, we also did quite a lot of writing letters, because on the program, we don't discuss things in a group at all. It's only between you and your spouse. So we would be given a topic to write on, or we listen to what the couples have got to say, and then we are given a topic to write on. And then we give an answer to that, and then we go further as to what are my strongest feelings, or how do I feel about what I have written to you. And then from the actual, and then you exchange your letters. And from that, I got to understand exactly how Peter felt in different situations. And I really got to know, I really got to know him, even though before we went on Retroval, we had been married for quite a few years. And I really thought that I knew him. But in actual fact, it was on the program that I began to see and understand Peter's innermost thoughts and feelings that I had never, ever been aware of. And the same thing with me. He got to see, if you want to say, the real me, just by that sort of communication. So that is what really helped.
Peter, and to you, for those who are listening to this conversation, I want you to have a think on this. For those who are listening to this conversation and are saying, I find myself at a crossroads, or I find myself where introspection is a bit difficult. How do I approach the conversation with myself first before opening up to my significant other? I'm going to give you a moment to think on that. Let's take a quick breather.
Africa Matters, the conversation on climate change and financing Africa's recovery. Only on Channel Africa.
One of the big themes of the Africa Summit is climate finance. And for many Africans, this sounds like a pretty complex technical concept. Simply put, though, what is climate finance and why does it matter for Africa?
Climate finance is pretty much the funds that are available for climate actions, the fight against climate change, which today can never be denied again. I mean, we've seen it over the years in many countries, and it is a reality. And when the countries of the world come together, like in the COP summit, some of the actions that are taken are being backed up by finances. In reality, it is quite simple when you do know where to go and how to access this funding.
Eliezer Goma, who's the CEO of Chedza Enviro and Planning Solutions.
Across the continent, climate change is forcing tough decisions. This is Africa Matters. Your life, your rhythm, your Africa. Channel Africa. Find it for free on Google Play and the Apple App Store. From Cape to Cairo, every beat tells a story. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
8 minutes before 11 p.m. Central Africa time. We are still in conversation with Peter and Myra van der Linde joining us, a part of Retrovai Lifeline for married couples. And Peter, I left you there with a question. The conversation you need to have with yourself before opening up to your partner. Those moments before you set Myra down, and you said, this is how I feel. What did you say to yourself to open up and to realize that this is a safe space for me to share what I'm feeling?
Sheila, that's actually what we teach and teach the couples on the program. Because when couples reach that stage, the sort of main feeling is, oh, I'm alone, what can I do? Okay, but you are not alone. There is an organization like Retrovai that can provide help. So that is the key thing, that there is help available. And it's no good listening to other couples who've been in the same boat and maybe have split up, etc. You need to first learn, which we teach, about yourself. As Moya spoke earlier about feelings, we are an emotional race. Humans are emotional. And there's nothing wrong with your emotions. Emotions are neither right nor wrong. You can feel angry. That's fine. You're allowed to. But it's how you behave with that feeling of anger. If you start shouting and screaming and swearing and bashing and that sort of thing, no, that's not allowed. So we teach in the writing process that Moya about. We teach how to write, how to approach your spouse, how to read their reflections and what they've written respectfully, and that will stop the discussion to burst into an argument. So that is one of the key points. Yes, communication. Everybody says you need to communicate, but not many people tell you how to communicate, and that's what we do. We show them how to communicate, and that certainly helps. And also by writing things down, then you don't. If you're just talking out of your head, and then suddenly you say things that you didn't mean to say. But if you write something down, you think about it before you write it, and when your partner reads it, then they can hopefully understand how you are feeling, and how to respond proactively with you. So that's very important, that people must know, or must try and understand, that they're not alone. They're not the only ones in that spot. there are many people like that, and there are many people who've come through that, and we can help them.
Absolutely. And for the couples who are listening right now and they're saying, I want help, where do they find you?
An international website called Help Our Marriage. It's all one word, lowercase, www.helpourmarriage.org. So I say that is international in all the countries that Retrovi is represented, and it shows the local communities and contact details, and then they can request more information. They can. We have a dedicated number that we honor. If anybody phones in the Durban area, there are other communities in Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Port Elizabeth. So that's what we try to get out there on our advertising, and it does reach success sometimes, but we are a small unit, and we try our best.
The contact numbers will also appear on the website for the different areas, and also when the next program would be starting, and then. But also they could, if they phone that number for Durban, they will get us personally. So, and if they're wanting help in the Durban area and Durban, Pietermaritzburg area, then we can always make arrangements to see them, to meet with them, and then give them some guidelines before the program starts, so that they get that help.
Peter, Myra, this has been an absolute pleasure. We cannot wait to see the lives you change. And thank you so much for your dedication, for helping others go through difficult times in their marriage, or maybe even just helping them think correctly in the context of marriage. We thank you and we commend you for the work that you do.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate
Thank you very,
that.
very much.
It actually helps us as well in our marriage. When we come across couples like that, and we try to explain and teach them these things, and then it certainly makes us think again, especially if a hiccup has arisen and we're in a bit of a bad way. Then we realize, no, we can do this.
Wow. Again, thank you
and
both.
we've got a team to support us.
Oh, lovely. We love that. We love that you have a community to uplift you.
Yes.
Myra, just with you, a quick one. For those who are listening right now and they're thinking to themselves, Sheila, I've seen the dating pool. It is extremely difficult. This is even before marriage. Just as a one-liner, what would you say to them to help them gear up their minds for the prospects of marriage?
I would suggest, well, firstly, to think carefully, to make sure that you have got similar interests and values, because then you should be on the right page for that. To also, really know the spouse, because sometimes what they portray in the romance stage is after a few years that can change, and then you can actually see that, hang on a minute, there's alcohol abuse or whatever. You can also see by meeting the family and spending time within his or her family, so that you could see what sort of family background he comes from, or she comes from, because the family of origin can make a big impact on the marriage. So I would suggest those areas to look for.
Oh, that was beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way to end this conversation. I do hope to be speaking to the both of you very soon.
Anytime. We're available.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila, and best of luck and carry on with what you are doing.
Thank you very much for having us.
The voices there of a couple that inspires very many to push through the tough times, to enjoy the beautiful moments, but also to appreciate the union that is marriage. It is top of the new hour. Let's get into it.
Conversations that touch the heart and inspire change. Here on African Diaries, only on Channel Africa. Join us on www.channelafrica.co.za.
Stay connected to Africa and to the world with Channel Africa, the international voice of the South African Broadcasting Cooperation. Now listen or watch live anytime, anywhere at channelafrica.co.za, on the Channel Africa mobile app, or on SABC Plus. DSTV as well as OVHD's audio bouquets are also readily available for you to access. Join in on the conversations. Find us on social media at Channel Africa on Facebook and at Channel Africa 1 on all other social media platforms. Don't miss the stories shaping our continent and beyond, because Channel Africa is first with that African story globally. And in this hour, we take relationshiping to the next height. Okay? If you thought that marriage was the fully grown pitch of what a relationship can be, I want to beg to differ. Okay, because tonight we are getting more spiritual. We are looking at the intertwining of you and yours spiritually. What does that mean? How does that even work? Do you discuss it? Does it just happen? Is it haphazard? Is it something that will happen before you connect with each other physically? Those questions will be answered by none other than our mind, body, and sound facilitator joining us this evening. That is Sean Ruttenberry. For now, some music.
Which kind life where I never see? I carry God, so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commas. Original no be parody. No fit clear for your memory. Whether now winter or summer, I did Papa does now. Living life, see my fire burning bright within the inside me. Small leeway, they mighty, they never know I color. To the move fine. Everything inside my mind daily, trust me, you can't fool me. Energy don't got logo, more friendly and conscious. I'm allergic to so. I'm not ready for confusion. They're telling me make I show love. Stability on bono, everything a connection. I'm not ready for confusion. Things happen inside life. Try to make I live my come true. If not fight the fight, make you no go tired. Fire they go. You need to put your body and soul. Leave your worries alone. I don't stop now. Living life, see my fire burning bright within the inside me. Small leeway, they mighty, they never know I color. To the move fine, check and balance everything inside my mind daily. Trust me. So I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commas.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective. The story that moves the continent. It's on African Diaries on Channel Africa.
It's the William Boy.
She don't when news at the money, baby, what is popping?
Girl, I'm chasing money, but oh, yeah, shadow ban. If I no press you money, that one no mean say I stingy. Asomo go muka kuko malo don't know me. Asambla kamo go sonu. Amiri jamo go suju. Uni balance ya kamo go sese. $1 million no to me. Ama ye hustle. Uni kasambla kamo go sonu. Amiri jamo go suju. Uni balance ya kamo go sese. $1 million no to me. Ama ye hustle. Vanilla Bottega, some cash. Ole je dollar, ole je naira, I know. Ibire la ma so gbasi, omo wo to gbasisi. Nothing we I never see. Afomo ti je ku so de, so mo fazu to lewu. Oni ogi kuro lọ́nà mi, ṣọmọ kan tó wà lọ́kàn mi. Our steez no go kill me, Valentino lórí mi. Fendi lẹ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀, ó lè kú nítorí mi. I blow Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bami Shadola, Razaki. Balenciaga on me. When I dey hustle, show me. Asambla kamo go sonu. Amiri jamo go suju. Uni Balenciaga go sese. $1 million no to me. On my head hustle. Uni Asambla kamo go sonu. Amiri jamo go suju. Balance I got say $1 million no to me. Oh my day hustle.
Tango zamanda sesandene sendotenene
11 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. Actually, 11 minutes after 11 p.m. Why am I trying to regress back in time? If you've just joined us, thank you so much for choosing us over the rest. That was Sjava coming in with Umcebo. Before that, we had Show Day coming in with Casablanca, and that alongside Ayo Maf. And of course, that beautiful music driving us to this very point. If you've just joined us, hello, how are you doing? Welcome to African Diaries. Sheila Ndikumana keeping you company. A quick breather. And after that, I'll tell you what comes up in this hour. All you need to know is that we are meeting in spirit for couples.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Historia msikilizaji ya Valentine Day au siku ya wapendanao ilianzia katika nyakati za kale za dola la Roma. Watafiti wengi wa historia wanaamini kuwa siku hii inahusishwa na sherehe za kipagani zilizokuwa zikifanyika kila mwaka katikati ya mwezi Februari. Msikilizaji, sherehe hizo zilijulikana kama Lupercalia na zilifanyika kuadhimisha uzazi, upendo na mwanzo wa majira ya kuchipua.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Mzansi, less than 100 days to go from the 11th of June to the 19th of July. Your national broadcaster, the SABC, brings you every moment live. Watch on SABC 3, stream on SABC Plus, and stay connected on SABC Radio. Download SABC Plus now and be ready for kickoff. SABC is the official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you. Your passport to Africa's untold stories. Only on African Diaries. Weekdays, 10 till midnight.
13 minutes after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. What comes up next on the show is just the context of relationshiping spiritually. Perhaps you're sitting there and you're saying, Sheila, what are you saying to me? It is 11 o'clock in the middle of the night. I don't understand how you are connecting relationships and spirituality. What if healing isn't just about your mind? What if healing isn't just about your body? What if your energy and the energy you pour into a relationship is fundamentally supported and, if you will, even sponsored by your state of spirit? In this hour, we step into a deeper space where self-discovery meets spiritual alignment and where healing becomes a full body experience, not just for you, but for the experience of your partner.
songi bandeko ngai na makambo ona makambo unu para kile bakuli balutua unu wengue ona makambo ngai na makambo ngai na makambo unu para kile bakuli balutua unu wengue ona makambo ngai na makambo ona makambo ngai na motema unu para kile munu balutua unu wengue songi bandeko likambo na motema ngai na motema unu para kile bakuli balutua ona makambo
It is 19 minutes after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. This is Jeffrey Oriema coming in with Makambo. In just a few seconds, we'll have an opportunity to touch base with Sean Rattenberry, who is a mind, body, and sound facilitator who helps people reconnect with themselves through intuitive healing and integrated therapy. Tonight, we talk all things spiritual. And essentially, we find out how restoration of self can bring restoration to your relationships, but also what does it mean to connect spiritually? 20 after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. Let's take a quick breather.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspective africaine.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Joëlle Mouteba. Je suis africaine. J'aime la musique, la bonne nourriture africaine. Rejoignez-nous sur DSTV 802 pour ceux de l'Afrique australe. Connectez-vous sur www.channelafrica.co.za pour des nouvelles concernant toute l'Afrique. Il sera question de l'actualité dans tous ses angles. Vue d'Afrique, c'est du lundi au vendredi à 18h temps universel sur Channel Africa. Je vous invite tous, ce sera captivant.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
It is 21 minutes after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. Time for our next conversation where we are taking an even deeper step into relationshiping. It is Love and Relationship Wednesdays, and so ours is to understand the dynamics between you and your special somebody. Okay, that is the focal point. Now, joining us is Sean Rattenberry, who is a mind, body, and sound facilitator who helps people reconnect with themselves through intuitive healing and integrated therapy. Through his work with Integrate Wellness, Sean guides individuals and even corporates toward deeper awareness, healing, and purpose, and using everything from sound therapy to trauma release. Tonight, it's about one thing, okay? Tonight, we are talking all things alignment. What does that mean when you and your special somebody are talking beyond the contexts of the physical state and the mental state? What does it mean to be interconnected spiritually? Sean has the 411 and he joins us on the line. Mr. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries.
African Diaries, thank you for having me.
Lovely. So I want to start off with a rather, I think this question is going to set the tone for us, right? Before we talk about being established, being whole, being well, let's find out what the dating economy looks like spiritually. What's going on, Sean? Okay, because in 2026, things are looking a hot mess. When we talk about the physical state of being, when we think of the realm of the spirit, is there a way to gauge why people are peopling the way they are peopling in 2026?
Definitely. If you look at what has taken place over the last 5-6 years, we all were happily engaging in life, and then COVID hit. And then COVID hit brought a new awareness to people, especially when it came to lockdown, where there were a lot of couples that have been married, whether it was a year, 10 years, 20 years, they got to see their spouse in a new light and a different light as well. So I do feel that a lot of people through COVID started to see characteristics and behaviors of their partners which they never knew. And that caused a lot of people to have a lot of separation in their home dynamic, but also a lot of separation in their own physical well-being dynamic. And that has had a huge impact on how people are engaging with themselves. And when they engage with themselves, they start engaging with others in the same demeanor. And through my frustration with my spouse, my frustration with my child, my frustration with my colleagues, I'm not realizing that I myself as Sean are creating that through my own internal compass.
Beautiful. Sean, I want to talk about this. I think it's catch-22. Perhaps you can even water it down further for my understanding. So there's this concept of being selfless in the context of a relationship. Yeah? You're meant to compromise. Yes, work on you, but be for the motion of an us. However, I found that in very many practices, be it those who focus on your mental state, on your spiritual state, on your physical state, there's the soul push towards working on yourself. How do we establish a dynamic? Because it feels like you're telling me be present, but don't be present. But, there's a swaying of minds that kind of has people thinking, when I'm in a relationship, am I supposed to lose myself in it? And by that, that means my entire dedication is to you. Or do I focus on self and then subsequently appear selfish in relationships?
Okay, so something I always emphasize to my clients, in order to be selfish, you have to understand what it means to be selfless. But we can't be selfless without understanding what it means to be selfish. So one has to be selfish, but in a very healthy dynamic, where we are able to support ourselves first before we overextend ourselves and help the world, our partners, our children, where they take so much from us and we haven't replenished ourselves. It's like the glass theory. If your glass is full every morning and your spouse, your children, your colleagues are continuously sipping from that glass, most people don't have discernment to keep half the glass for themselves to drink to replenish themselves. So they like it when everybody drinks from their glass and they feel that that is a selfless act. But what you're actually doing is dishonoring yourself first. And I always emphasize to my clients is that everybody wants to be selfless, but very few want to be selfish, but also in a healthy way. I use the example of you've bought yourself something to eat and your spouse comes or a stranger comes and says, can I please have a slice? You can, in your own selfishness, say, I really was looking forward to this pizza, but I'm also selfless. So yes, you can have a slice or two. But me, if I, as Sean, keep taking a third slice, a fourth slice, a fifth slice, and eventually your pizza gets disappeared because I'm enjoying in this engagement, you have to see the discernment. I can still be selfish in the moment and say, Sean, hold on. I've given you 2 slices. This rest of the pizza is for myself. And a lot of people are losing themselves in relationships. They lose themselves in family dynamics. They're losing themselves in children. And I see that a lot with mothers. Mothers want to be selfless. They want to be able to serve their spouses, serve their kids, but most of the times they lose who they are. They lose their minds, they lose their bodies, they lose their spirits. And something that I always like to emphasize is that you can never be of service to anyone if you can't service yourself. If you can't keep half a glass of water for yourself every single day so that you at the end of the day can drink that last half and replenish yourself, how are you supposed to be a full glass the next morning? And a lot of people are not in a continuation of sustenance for themselves. I mean, who were you before you got married? Who were you before you had children? What was your routine? Were you going to yoga? Were you going on hikes? Were you drinking green smoothies because that was your lifestyle? So why did you give that out? Because of children and because of husbands. And I think it's important that we have to always remember that we are ourselves first before I can be us as a unit. Because if I'm not myself first, strong, healthy, independent, and ready to show up, I am going to struggle every time you need something from me.
Sean, create a tipping scale for us. For those who are hearing you and saying, yes, I will pour more into self. Yes, I'll go back to routines that I used to practice before this marriage, before this relationship. There is somewhat a scale that one should balance themselves on. Perhaps it can come in the form of a question. It can come in the form of a statement, but something I need to continuously repeat to myself so that I understand that Sheila has to be Sheila so that she's enough for husband, for children.
Question. So you must remember, life has its ups and downs. It has its experiences. And this is the journey that I like to teach my clients when it comes to self-healing, is that, our minds and our bodies are one vessel. And whether we want to believe it or not, this universe has its own governing laws on cause and effect. So I, as Sean, you as Sheila, has an impact on your external world and how you feel internally. So if I'm not keeping myself in a more conscious state, a healthy mind-body connection, consciously aware that I am continuously creating my existence by thoughts, by actions, and by words, if I'm not conscious of that, I will then unconsciously play out a program of my past relationships. My ex-husband did this, my ex-wife did this, my ex-girlfriend was much more kind, and I start nitpicking all these characteristics of past relationships, and I bring that into my present relationship based on my past woundings. And if I'm not conscious that that in itself is creating an external reality, then I do lose myself and I do lose the relationship as well. So the tipping scale for me is for you to consciously understand what is your program and what is your pattern from past relationships to your present. I always say to clients, what is your point of attraction? You want a new life, you want a new girlfriend, you want a new wife, you want a new job, but you'll always come from your past experience. So my past experience, my husband did this, my wife did this. So now I'm standing here in the present moment and I say, I want a different future. Most people, they haven't in the present moment redefined what that future relationship or that future version of themselves can actually be. So what they then do is unconsciously, you attract from the past experience. So even though you've attracted a new man, a new wife, a new whatever, that is just a wolf in sheep clothing, because the characteristics of this person, even though they're a new future, will always be exactly like the past. And this is why it's so important that in the present moment that you give yourself sustenance, whether it is to get back into old routines or create new routines, but to always give back to yourself and to always be whole, because that mind-body connection is what's going to help you be a lot more rooted and grounded in all your experiences.
Sure. Sean, I need our moment. Because what are you saying to me that I'm attracting my past? What are you saying to me that the wolf in sheep's clothing? Listen, if you've just joined us, we're currently in conversation with Sean Rattenberry, who is a mind, body, and sound facilitator who helps people reconnect with themselves. And tonight we are doing so in conversation, just finding out what a centered whole present Sheila looks like in the context of relationship, and how this can start from spirit into my physical, tangible state. If you have questions, do find us on WhatsApp +27832886684. Sean, I've had a moment to exhale. Now that we have spoken about us in context of relationship, let's get into the individual, right? For somebody who's hearing mind, body, and sound healing for the first time and is saying to themselves, I've heard your descriptors and I feel like that's my cycle. I keep on attracting my past. I keep on finding myself in situations that reflect what I once experienced, that broke me down, that, took away any opportunity of a lived experience, of a healed version of myself. What are these things and how can I incorporate them into my daily experience?
If you think about it, if you go to church or you go to a temple, you go to a mosque, or you go to a synagogue, what is the number one thing that brings people in? It's not necessarily the church or the temple or the synagogue or the mosque. It's the sound, it's the chanting, it's the music, it's the praise that everybody is feeling and connecting to. So we have to understand that sound therapy, I can use this example with you. Think about a song that you resonate with. That song itself has lyrics that can make you cry, words that can motivate you in the gym, words that can bring up a memory. And with those lyrics, you've always got a tempo that goes with it. And that is a resonance. That is sound, that is frequency. And those sounds and frequency penetrate and able to affect my physical body. And this is why I get goosebumps from that song. This is why I remember that song gave me a memory of smelling the ocean, or when I was in Mozambique with my best friend. All of this sound frequency also has an impact on how we are responding, because we are sound, vibration, frequency. Our plants are sound, frequency, and vibration. I can use the example biblically where it says God spoke us into his creation. God spoke, and the word was God, and God was that word. So if God spoke us, God said, let there be life, let there be water, let there be earth, let there be humans, let there be insects, let there be animals. That was sound, that was resonance, that was magnetism that he used to not only create what he wanted, but also to call back into what his reflection was of himself. So he made everything in his image. So we ourselves, if we are made in God's image, have the same potential by listening to sound frequency to be in the church, the synagogue, the mosque, whatever it is, and to resonate with the sounds of the songs that they're singing or the chants that is happening. Sound frequency for me has been overlooked because one can feel the connection from an R&B artist, but yet one can't feel the connection by being in stillness and meditation and listening to bowls, listening to mantra, but it's the same frequency. You just need to tune in. If you look at your radio station, or you look at all radio stations in South Africa, if Sean is trying to speak of a word and he is trying to get to a frequency where it's, 99.2, I have to find from 88.0, I have to be able to have the frequency and the consciousness awareness to not get distracted by 92.7, 96.4, 98.0, because there's a nice song that's being played. I have to have that conscious awareness within myself to be like, stay on track, stay in your healing journey, stay in your focus, and get to 99.2. And a lot of people don't realize that once you get tuned into your frequency, your words, your thoughts, your actions become an extension of you. And that in itself is where we become God in our own creation, and we start interacting with this infinite intelligence of the universe, where our internal compass, through how I feel my words, how I connect with my words, eventually when I speak my words, becomes part of my creation. So sound frequency for me is something very powerful, and I use bowls, I use instruments, I use gongs, I use rattles, I even play music, because there's elements of certain instruments and certain hertz that's allowed to bring resonance, vibration into the body, where the body really just allows yourself to let go and release.
Sean, I want us to stick to your analogy. I think it's a beautiful one, that of a radio and you sort of tuning to a particular frequency. Sean, we need that knob. You see that knob, the button, the one that allows us to continue to press to get to 99.2? I feel like a lot of us don't know where that button is. Or we know where that button is, but we don't know how to maneuver. So instinctually, when you are perhaps in your car and you're trying to tune into a particular station and you're turning the knob or you're pressing the button, or you're moving whatever it is you need to move to find the frequency, you have a guided sense of understanding. And so you can move that knob with intentionality. When it comes to restorative healing, when it comes to sound healing, where is the knob, Sean?
It comes to your willingness to actually surrender to a new experience and not let culture, religion, what mom said, what dad said, what they said, what society says, become the blockage of you actually experiencing something new. You know, in our work, when we work with corporates, you know, dealing with diversity there when it comes to culture and religion. And some people will sit there continuously and be dissociated from an experience and use their religion, their culture, or their beliefs as a blockage for them to actually go into an experience. So what they're actually doing is resisting themselves. So everybody knows where the knob is. I promise you we do. Everybody knows how to get to their frequency. I promise you we do. The difference is the closer I get, I start understanding that a version of myself is now about to be created. Patterns and beliefs are going to get let go of. Friendship circles and conversations are going to sort of disappear on me because my resonance, my frequency is no longer going to be as part as that environment or that conversation or that person. So we cling on to our past. We cling on to what we know is comfortable. And that in itself is why we put the blinkers on and we go, oh no, I can't actually see the button. I'm actually not too sure what radio station I'm on. So we self-sabotage and we don't even allow ourselves to get to the point where we can be in a new aspect of our creation because safety and comfort is a lot more easier for many people.
Sure. And for those who are saying, I understand dissociating from structures of perhaps culture, religion, my own practices that I've once experienced. However, the unknown is so uncertain that I feel fear stops me. So it has nothing to do with what anyone said. It's just the reality of stepping into this unknown place that I can't tangibly touch. What would you say to them?
I love this question. So the word fear was written 365 times in the Bible. And that was God's word to say to us, never to fear any day, any minute, any hour, because it's written 365 days of the year. So because it's been written 365 times in the Bible, it's stating to us, what are we fearing? We've got no reason to fear anything because God is with us, for example, okay? Another example is, for me, is what is the unknown? The unknown is something that could also be predictable. I say to clients all the time, your known story is your past, it's your pattern, it's your beliefs, and where has it gotten you? It's created a lot of limitations and it's created a lot of blockages for you. So why not shift into something that is unknown, but even in the unknown, you can predict what is known. What do you want? What do you want to manifest? What do you want? What are your intentions? And if you can align mind, body, spirit intentionally to what my known needs to be in the unknown, you can produce anything you want. The problem is with a lot of people is the unknown is scary, but the known is not so pleasant. So why would you stay in an unknown, a known unpleasantness instead of stepping into an unknown where you could predict a much more greater future? And for me, I challenge all my clients. I'm like, guys, the unknown is perfect. What can we project and what can we intentionally put out there that we know in the moment of the unknown? You know you're going to be fine. You know you're going to be healthy. You know you're going to be excited. Perfect. Let's work on those three points. And let that be the focal point when you walk into the unknown, that you know there are some points that you already have manifested, which is known. And that in itself allows you to walk into this blank canvas, the unknown, and create anything you want. It's like a white wall. You can create anything you want in it. You can paint it blue, red, yellow. You can splash it with anything you want. But either it's part of your creation that's just going to create something beautiful. You know, if we can put you in a dark room now and switch off all the lights, okay, but you were in that room, you saw everything, and I switch off all the lights, all of a sudden you walking around blank in the unknown space and you start touching something, you go, what is that? There must be something in the room. No, it isn't. It's just your psyche creating fears and illusions. It's just the pattern and beliefs of certain dynamics of your childhood that is playing out in this dark room, that there must be something inside yet. But as soon as I switch on the lights, you'll be like, oh, there's actually nothing inside here. All of a sudden it becomes known. But you already knew the known when you switched off the light. You were in the same room.
Sean, until there was something that was in the room that we didn't know about. Anyway, besides the point, we take a quick breather, and then when we get back, we find out how these play out in relationships. Outside you centering self, how does you centering self sort of fit into the context of you and your loved one's space? 42 minutes after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. If you're listening and you're saying, Sheila, I have a question for Sean, find us on WhatsApp +27 83 288 6684. For now, a quick breather.
Africa Matters, the conversation on climate change and financing Africa's recovery. Only on Channel Africa.
One of the big themes of the Africa Summit is climate finance. And for many Africans, this sounds like a pretty complex technical concept. Simply put, though, what is climate finance and why does it matter for Africa?
Climate finance is pretty much the funds that are available for climate actions, the fight against climate change, which today can never be denied again. I mean, we've seen it over the years in many, many countries, and it is a reality. And when the countries of the world come together, like in the COP summit, some of the actions that are taken are being backed up by finances. In reality, it is quite simple when you do know where to go and how to access this funding.
Eliezer Goma, who's the CEO of Chedza Enviro and Planning Solutions.
Across the continent, climate change is forcing tough decisions. This is Africa Matters. As Africa renews, so does its voices. 60 years of Channel Africa. Africa Speaks on African Diaries with Sheila Ndikumana.
It is 17 minutes before the show comes to an end. Let's wrap up conversations with our mind, body and sound facilitator who helps people reconnect with themselves through intuitive healing and integrated therapy. This is Sean Rattenberry joining us this evening. Sean, we kind of got to an understanding of how the human being should conceptualize sound healing, you know, and how we should come into a space being ready to explore the unknown. What does this mean for me and my special somebody, though?
We are connecting with sound therapy is that we are able to find the stillness. And in that stillness, you're able to hear sounds that you've never heard before. So if you're able to sit in stillness or be in sound therapy and learn these techniques, you're able to even bring them into your special somebody and your relationship, where you get to see them from a different space and you get to hear them from a different space. When we are in relationships for 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years, we are used with our partner saying something, behaving a certain way, and always disappointing us in certain dynamics. And if we are able to see them in a new space, a new light, and to hear them from a new sort of understanding of creation, we're able to actually communicate with our partners a lot more better. We get to hear their needs, we get to hear their wants, we get to, meet them in a place where it's heart to heart, but from a place where we're not emotionally charged, but we're more emotionally centered.
And for those who are thinking to themselves that my partner and I are going through difficulty, so even just meeting minds at this stage feels heavy. There's already a lot of pushback. They're not coming to you with a space where they're ready to explore the space of the unknown, this place of healing, of restorative power and energy. What's the first thing that you say to the two? These who are minds apart, who feel like their worlds apart, but are still looking for some kind of solution.
Welcome. You're just getting started. Because you now need to start a new pattern, a new belief, and a new communication state. The problem with relationships is, many people are continuously bringing in the baggage from past relationships, and we keep comparing our partners from past relationships. So when it comes to a new dynamic, when couples come and see me, for example, because I do deal with quite a few couples, is that we create space for them to be heard. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that our needs be met by being heard. And a lot of the times, it is challenging for some people, mostly the men that I deal with, because we're so rigid in logic and women are so charged by emotion that the man wants to bring logic to a woman's emotion, and a woman's trying to express her emotions in a way where the man can put logic aside and connect from his heart. And sometimes I always emphasize to the men is like, can we put our minds aside and be in our heart space and listen to what your partner's saying? Because when we're in our heart space as men, we're able to communicate from our heart, but we're able to see our partner from a much more different light. So the beauty when I work with couples is I purely bring them to a space of conscious awareness. Sean, you said this. Mary, how did you feel? Mary, how did you hear Sean? What came up for you when Sean said that? Okay, Mary, what do you want to say to Sean? And how does it impact you, Sean? What did you hear and how did it impact you? And then we're able to bring a pattern where Sean, in his tone and how he communicates to Mary, brings up stories in memory from childhood when her father was very abusive. We're able to have Mary communicate to Sean, and Sean to say, well, when I hear Mary speak, I hear like weakness, and I used to hate seeing my mom weak when she was dealing with my father. Then we start realizing that we are just triggering and we are mirroring each other's inner woundings. And when we're able to see that, wow, my communication, what my tone is, I have to be cognizant of when I speak to Mary, because my tone reminds her of such an unhealthy expression of her father. And Mary has to, in that moment, remember how she communicates to Sean, because she's consciously aware that it brings the irritation of weakness and how Sean witnessed his mother. And when you bring those two people into that level of conscious awareness, they see their partner from a new light. And that allows a different aspect of their evolution and a new transition for their relationship to take shape.
Sean, we have gotten a mouthful. We've gotten an ear and a half from you. However, for those who are saying, I would like your services, maybe just for myself or for me and my partner, or for me and my entire organization, where do we get a hold of you?
So Integrate Wellness is our website. So integrate with an 8. Integratewellness.com, .co.za. We've got information or info@integratewellness.co.za. I can also just share you guys my contact details as well, if you'd like.
Absolutely, go for it, sir.
So my personal cell phone number is 072 392 3734. And you can always WhatsApp me and let me know that you heard the interview and there's an aspect of something that you want to, dive into. And again, most people will just email me on sean@integratewellness.co.za.
Okay, Sean, for those who are saying a little slower with the number, let's go again, please.
072 392 3734.
Good, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate your presence on the show and continue to do the good work that you do.
Okay, can I just spell out Integrate Wellness for those that need to know?
Absolutely. Go for it.
INTEGR number 8 wellness.co.za.
Again, Mr. Sean, this has been a pleasure. I know that very many people on TikTok have been blessed by listening to your descriptors and essentially how you are giving us understanding and wisdom when it comes to yourself and connecting with others. So thank you a ton for joining us.
Thank you for having me. All the best.
The voice there of mind, body and sound facilitator, that is Sean Ruttenberry. It is 9 minutes before the show comes to an end. Time flies. In actual fact, time bleeps when you're having fun. Let's take a quick breather, and not so long from now, we'll hear from Morris Touch.
Sabi girl no dey too like talk. Animals dey in human form. Body man nobody like walk, but you must hustle if you want job. You no finish they won't fight us. If them they run them no fit catch up. I know they form say I too righteous. No con they form say you too like us. Me no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, oh yeah, what they want telling me. Could deny my fantasy. They want to check if my tap in no wrong. But it they rush well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap in the rush. The kind money we touch, yeah. It they rush well, it be much. No be hype, everybody they crush. There's no darling with us. You fool me jackpata, I dey go Ghana. You never thought you dey from papas. Which kind money we never see before. Cause hello me, got me feeling I'm the one. Ajay. Can never take my cake away. Ajay, you can't count my grace. I just did my lane. Me no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, oh yeah, what they want telling me. Could deny my fantasy. They want to check if my tap in no wrong. But it they rush well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap in the rush. The kind money we touch, yeah. It they rush well, it be much. No be hype, everybody they crush. There's no darling with us. Cause it they rush well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap in the rush. The kind money we touch. It they rush well, it be much. No be hype, everybody they crush. There's no darling with us. There's no darling.
6 minutes before the show comes to an end, Area Star coming in with Rush. That bringing us to the great debate that we are going to end the show with. If you've just joined us and you're saying, Sheila, what's going on? I'm excited. It's Relationship Wednesdays. And behind the scenes, a subject matter surfaced, and this was based on the very first conversation we had. You can hear there the voice of Kitty Petla, who is my producer, and Morris Touch, who is going to be joining us, broadcasting from the city of Kings and Queens. We find out from him, of course, in a short bit, what we can expect on the show that comes ahead of us. However, I was asking for 10, 12, and 16.3 marks, okay? We were talking about somebody who doesn't want to talk to you, essentially. This is a partner, a special somebody, who said, we can end the chat now. Would you rather be blocked by this person, meaning you have no access to them, or blue-ticked, meaning you have access to them, but it's not real, and you can see that you have access to them? Kitty, how are you doing?
I'm okay, and you?
This is a very fun topic. I'm excited.
Blocking, no.
No?
It's a definite no. The thing is, Sheila, human beings are not like switches that you switch on and off.
Uh-huh.
And for me, blocking is a testament of that. It's like you now, you basically are pushing a narrative of, I can switch off this person's mental state and feelings anytime I want, and I just block them. And not putting yourself in their shoes, right? Blue ticking as well, at least it doesn't erase you from existence from that person. So
I
at least you're blue ticking as in like, okay, she's getting my message and stuff, but
Yeah.
you eventually are going to look at yourself and say, okay, maybe I should step back a bit. That's the one side of blue ticking. But then the other side of blue ticking, one can just easily say, listen, I'm not in a space of talking to you right now, so I just need a bit of space from you. I think even if, like you said it earlier, if a person's pestering and pestering, I
Yeah.
don't think that's an excuse enough to block someone, me personally.
Personally,
Yeah,
okay.
personally, honestly, because I always say that it's not fair to treat people, and it's happened to me before, where you say to a person, I'm not a switch, because when you feel like it's okay for me to be in your life,
Yeah.
then you switch me back on, and you unblock me, and you say hi. What am I gonna do? Because I have a soft spot for you, I'm gonna say, how are you? Are you good? Do you know what I'm saying? So the switch is back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell when it comes to blocking. No, it's very immature.
I want us to hear Morris touch this. Morris, you stepped right into the heart of the problem. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, Sheila Ndikumana and Kitty. How are you guys doing?
No, we are fantastic.
We are good.
Morris, we are time pressed, so I want to hear from you quickly. Do you think you should be blocked or blue ticked? This is a partner who doesn't want to speak to you anymore. They're saying, you know what? It's finished. It's over. It's done. Ons is klaar. You know, -0 to this relationship. Blocked or blue ticked?
I think the reason why people get blocked, it's because they are persistent. When someone says, look here, I don't want to talk to you, don't call, don't text, if you don't take that as you know, someone is respectful enough to say, look here, don't call me. Yeah, don't call we call you. You know, that type of thing.
Morris, so you block people essentially.
Clearly.
I think you get blocked because you are not being
Morris,
fair.
don't run away from the question. Don't run away from the question.
It's the diplomacy.
Don't be diplomatic. You're speaking to women. You've got to be very direct, huh?
Come
so,
on.
this is not a guy's chiller's corner. We're asking a very direct question. You just got to answer yes or no. You quite the blocker, right?
No, I don't block people.
Okay.
I don't.
What do you do, Morris?
I don't. I'll tell you nicely, Sheila.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate you texting me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if
straight up.
Sheila comes and she texts again and again and again and repeat, yizo, the return, I am busy with you. What do you do?
That your back is against the wall. You have no choice but to block them. That's why I'm saying that.
Morris,
well said.
You know what, Morris, let's not put your back against the wall right now. What can we expect of the Afro Republic?
It's an Afro Republic will be in the Republic in the next coming few seconds.
Yeah.
It's going to be an epic show. It's Thursday, and we are trending. We are looking at music that is making waves around the continent, and we're looking at artists that are doing that as well.
Yeah.
And just looking at artists that have continuing to raise the flag in so many ways. Black Coffee celebrated his birthday, remember, over the weekend. Fantastic gathering in Cape Town. Yeah, one is to look at that. You know, when you work so hard, you play so hard.
Come on, Morris, touch of the Afro Republic, who joins you in just a short bit. I want to leave you with this question: to block or to blue tick? Find us on WhatsApp, +2783 288 6684. From the team and I, it's been an absolute
None of the
pleasure.
above.
Why,
None
Kitty?
of the above. Just say your piece and move on. Like, honestly.
But there has to be something that happens.
No,
if
but
the person
thing
is persistent.
Sheila, if someone's persistent, let them be persistent on their own.
So blue tick.
Yeah, leave it.
Blue tick.
Yeah, I would rather do that than block a person, because really it's unfair to block someone. It's not nice. Oh my God. It's like a child throwing sand in your face when you're in a sand pit. Like, oh my God. Yeah, that's not cool. And then you are left with like sand bits in your mouth, chewing like, oh my God, no. Have you ever swam in the sea? Usually when you swim in the sea, you get sand little particles in your little queen areas, you know, and it's not pretty. No, it's just not pretty.
The sentiments of my super producer who is joining us. On technical, we had Ntate Francis. On digital, we had Reese Groteveld, as well as Elaine Bengani. The name is Sheila Ndikumana. And until we meet again, and not block Mars because it is his time, do take care.
Afro Republic